All right. Hi, guys, and welcome to Career Cool. We are live today, and we are going to be talking with a very experienced person. He's Dr. M. Sridhar Acharyulu. He's the acting dean for School of Law at Bennett University. And I'm very excited because when I was going through the profile, I kind of started learning like how many different things that sir has done. He has written 39 books, and in awe of all the things that he has done in his life. So a couple of experience things that I wanted to share was he was the Central Information Commissioner from 2013 to 2018. He was the professor in Nalsar University from 2000 to 2013. He was the registrar at Nalsar University from 2011 to 2012. He was the chair professor for IPR at MHRD in Nalsar from 2008 to 2009. And he was the coordinator at Nalsar Proximate Education Center from 2008 to 2009. Lot of key publications, and as I'm going through, he was a columnist, and as sir was also telling, like he has been an educationist, moved into law, he's still in the media industry. And today we are going to talk about how important law is, what is the scope of law, how has COVID affected law, what are the placements, what are the areas that people practice, and then we're going to take your questions specifically, because usually we don't have such kind of esteemed guests on Career Cool, and this is your chance to ask your questions with the dean of Bennett University School of Law. So welcome, sir, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for your nice words. And friends, students, and the parents of the enthusiastic students who are interested in building a wonderful career to their kids in legal education. Welcome to all of you. And it's a great pleasure for me to be in touch with you people, wherever you are. You're most welcome to the Bennett School of Law. First of all, most welcome to legal career, most welcome to legal school, and then to my school, Bennett Law School. And the law is such an exciting subject, I can tell you. Understanding a social working mechanism needs a little knowledge about law. And if you have the legal knowledge of the fundamentals of a social working and governance, you will be logical, you will be legal, and you will be appreciated as a person talking some sense to others. I'd like to share my experience as a journalist. I was successful as a journalist simply because of my legal knowledge and because of my knowledge about constitution, functioning of a village system, functioning of a Jilla Parishad, a middle level local body, and then functioning of an assembly where the state legislation works, and then functioning of a parliament, a central legislature. So I could understand federalism of this country because of my knowledge of law. And because of this, I could do justice to my job as a journalist. And then, of course, I switched over to law teaching, and then I reached this level. So my journey into up to this level, I think is an example for joining the career of law. And it is the highlight of the career of law. Let me also tell you, all the freedom fighters and initial leaders and parliamentarians of Indian, after Indian independence are lawyers. 90% of them are lawyers. And if you
Wow.
look at Parliament, Constituent Assembly, you will find all the lawyers from Ambedkar to Gandhi to Nehru to Patel to everybody you name is a lawyer. So that's the reason why they could come up with a wonderful guidance for us. That is Constitution of India, a fantastic book, dynamic book, and I can say it's a document which dictate the dynamics of a constitutional governance of a country. And we are so strong today in a democratic world. It is because of Indian Constitution. I remember that American professor Glanville Austin, who wrote fantastic books on Indian Constitution, two fantastic books. He's an authority on Indian Constitution. He studied only Indian Constitution for all his life and wrote two wonderful books. And if anybody is interested in knowing what is the career of law, I suggest them read Glanville Austin. So I suggest even the parents of students of law to read Glanville Austin. Please do that. Then coming back to my university, why should you join law? I explained you. It's an exciting career. and you can become a judge, you can become a lawyer like Ram Jethmalani or Folius Nariman, or you can become a Rohinton Nariman. Now he's judging number 3 or number 4 of Indian Supreme Court, and you can also become a Prashant Bhushan who fights with the judges for justice. You can also become a Ram Jethmalani. A very interesting life of Ram Jethmalani. He is an advocate, he's a law minister, he's an MP, he's a writer, whatnot. And in most of the events of law that happened in this country, he's an associate to that. So I tell you, it's a wonderful thing to be a lawyer, wonderful thing to be a law lecturer, wonderful thing to be a law writer, whatnot. I think the whole world is before you. Judge, of course, is one of the most important constitutional position. You can be an engineer, of course, very good profession. I don't undermine any profession. If you are sincere and if you are working for the country, society, every profession is wonderful. I say a driver, RTC bus driver, is a great personality because he can meet people, so many people every day, and he can do wonderful service to the country. But as a lawyer, you will give a mechanism for governance. You will give a teeth to your right, and you will impose a liability and extract the damages for the right violated. You can do what not. So wonderful profession come to. And then why only Bennett University? Because we have a good team of lecturers. I don't supervise my staff. My lecturers are so good, so responsible, so knowledgeable, so young, so energetic, so research oriented. Nothing short. I don't have any complaint. And they do the work and I simply facilitate. I just lead perhaps, but nothing more than that I do. So they teach very well. Their classes are superb. I attended some of them. I was initially testing them. I just sneaked into their classrooms. Oh, wonderful teachers. So you'll be happy to listen to my colleagues when your kids join my school. Then coming to infrastructure, fantastic. One of the high-class institution. I think you must have seen the photographs and website and all that. Then another area of strength is my library, my e-library. COVID affected justice, COVID affected information system, COVID affected not only the health of individuals, but health of the nation also. Health of the constitutional governance also was affected. We can't even get into justice, access to justice is limited, skeletal. Very, very skeletal. And what will happen to violation of human rights? Nobody knows. Luckily, there are no serious violations. Of course, there are some. There are no serious violations, and people are very tolerant in this country, and they take every crisis in their own stride. Fine, that's a different thing. But we still have problems of access to justice. And video conferencing is the tool through which Supreme Court is hearing. High courts are hearing. Wonderful, huh? If somebody switches off, what will happen? And there are events of switching off, and so somebody doesn't switch on, what to do? So these are all problems we are facing, and we switch to online teaching. I'm telling you, it's only an alternative. It's only a supplementary. It cannot supplant wonderful interpersonal teaching. Even today, the best way of communication is sitting in a classroom and listening to a good lecture. That's all. Nothing else. No. Okay, I might see your face and you might see my face. That's okay. You might listen to me lively, talking to you, but still I feel that, suppose I want to know what is the response of others today. I don't know. I hope that you are listening to me. I hope that you are appreciating me, accepting me, but I don't know whether you have a question or not unless you ask. Whereas that is not the case in classroom. I can see one face not understanding. Even before he doesn't question, I will ask him, what happened? What is your problem? He will say something. So that live interaction, of course, is missing. I wish COVID will go as soon as possible, and then we will come back to our personal communication, interpersonal, virtual, not virtual, real class. But till then, we have to put up with this. So in this, my point of reference is e-books, e-library, e-learning, wonderful. We are stopped. We are continuing our education, continuing our semesters. We are examining in a very effective manner. In fact, it's a challenge to examine you people when everything is open. Whatever I ask, you have an answer in internet and you have access to it. What do I do? So it's a challenge to lecturers, and our people met the challenge very effectively. We have raised certain questions which you cannot answer without even with reference to internet. You cannot, unless you use your brain, your common sense, your understanding, your knowledge so far, your learning so far. You cannot answer my question. So we did that. You come and examine us. You test us how we test you. Come. Any questions? Please ask. I think I gave a brief introduction. I am opening for questions.
Yes, sir. So we had a couple of questions. The first question is for people who are 15 to 18 years of age and they're looking at different career options out there, what kind of people should be choosing law as a career?
Anybody. An engineer also has a place. A doctor also has a place. An ordinary English lover, language lover also has a place in law. Law is for all. Law is for everyone. And you also need to know the law. Even as a teenager, my question is, do you have a right to love? How do you know? How do you know? At what age you have to?
Yes.
No, will anybody teach you? No, don't do it until you are 18 years. Will anybody say? It's up to you. You have to understand. So law is such an interesting subject. It touches upon everybody. So anybody, even if I remember once couple of parents coming to me when I was in Nalsar. He says, my son is an engineer. He's already studying second year engineering. After getting through a tough examination, entrance examination, he wants to join law. Then I said, how come he came to know about it? So he said he read somewhere some interesting article about law. He wanted to join. I said, I welcome him. And he's a wonderful engineer, lawyer today in Madras. He's doing a wonderful job. So anybody is welcome.
So when should we decide to do law? Like, as you mentioned, like any engineers, doctors, anyone. So what is the kind of education in sense, like, you will of course have to do an undergrad degree. You will have to do a postgrad degree.
No, not needed.
Okay.
Anybody who is at 12th class has a basic knowledge about civics. Civics is a compulsory subject up to 10th. And what is a governance mechanism. The federation. The basics of political science. Basics of commerce. Economics. All that is taught in your 10th class. You are a generalist. That means generally some subjects. Enough. That's enough. Rest of thing you can learn in law. That when it was a 3-year course, your point is correct. You must be a graduate, and it would have been better if you are a BCom or a BA graduate. But now that's not the situation. At the 12th, 11th, and 12th, any education, even if you go for a science subjects or mathematics, economics, political science, or commerce, or botany, zoology, doesn't matter. And everything you will find interesting. Suppose you are a biotechnologist, patents is the law you need to know. Suppose you are an engineer, again, your liabilities of construction, you need to know. So no subject is a bar. Anybody is welcome. Just what is needed is your keen interest. That's all.
So curiosity and interest is the most driving factor in studying law.
Yeah. If you like it, no subject is difficult. If you don't like it, even easy subject will become a very difficult subject.
Yeah. So one of our students, Ansh Tyagi, he's asking a question. What can we do after BA LLB? So what about placements? What about masters? What are other options available?
This is one course where you can decide to be a master of yourself without looking for being a servant of somebody. Yeah, baat hai na? If you are in a different course, you have to serve, you have to look for placement, you look for that. You can immediately start your practice. Fantastic. You can try for your civil services examination. Fantastic. Or you can also join a Supreme Court as a clerk. Join a Supreme Court judge, research for him, and see how the judgments are to be written, and what are the inputs that you can give to your judge. One wonderful thing. Or you join a trial court, where how do you examine a witness in a murder case or a rape case? And how can you help the society in making them understand the legal rights? You can be a legal advocate. You can be joining a bank as a legal officer. You can try for judicial service examination, become a judge. You can study LLM and become a teacher like me. Or you can go into journalism and report courts, local court, high court, Supreme Court, whatnot. Which stops you? Which area, which subject stops you from joining? Everywhere you are welcome. Everywhere.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the placements and the salaries, sir. Like in any course or any industry that you want to go into, the biggest question that every student and every parent asks is how much is that person going to earn after
I'll
they
tell you.
complete?
Yeah. I'll tell you. In your 5-year course, there are several opportunities of internship.
Okay.
It is learning internship, not earning internship. But
Mhm.
this learning internship will pave way for earning internship immediately. Suppose some firm where you have studied, where you have learned certain processes as a student of law during interregnum of 2 semesters, where you find some vacation. There he will be definitely impressed by you, provided you impress them, of course. And then that is a opening of up of opportunity of joining a law firm. Or suppose you have gone to a human rights organization, you will become an advocate. Advocacy journalism, advocacy lawyering, fantastic. Or if you want to join a judge, you learn how to judge, and then you may be interested in going for a what is that, judicial service examination. So I think opportunities are unlimited.
So what would be the median salary or an average package that a student can earn after they complete BA LLB?
Which your teacher can be jealous of. Several times I was talking to my colleagues, and why not we also wear a tie and stand for a placement interview? So they are getting more than what I'm getting now. So I think I cannot exactly tell you this is the mean. Maybe 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. I don't know. You will be telling me, not me.
So it ranges between all the industries,
Ranges.
all the age.
Absolutely. Unimaginable. And
Okay.
in Ulster, I was surprised when my student was getting 6.5 lakh per month in a
Wow.
firm in India, and 10 lakhs plus when he was working in a firm in London, and a same amount when he was chosen to be in the US. What do I say? Tell me.
Of course, I totally understand, sir. So next question from Ansh is what undergrad course one should take to crack the judiciary exam?
In my view, BLLB is the best one because law is a one full-fledged paper. Apart
Mhm.
from your GK, GK and all that, current affairs, your aptitude, attitude, all that, apart from your language, other skills, law is a fantastic subject. And if you master it, you are a good administrator.
Absolutely. So, sir, someone just asked like the difference between criminal, civil, IPR, what are the different kinds of law out there that a student studies?
First is writ jurisdiction in high courts and Supreme Court, where you will be helping the people in securing their fundamental rights.
Mhm.
Then next to that, after High Court and Supreme Court and High Court, you have local courts, district courts, subordinate judiciary, where a person who is accused of a crime can
Mhm.
be helped by you, or a very important, interesting property dispute, crores worth property. Somebody is claiming, you go get him and then secure his possession, secure his ownership, and settle his law dispute. Or IPR, intellectual property right, a big company
Yeah.
finds somebody violating its IP, violating its patent. Come on, get into appellate tribunal, argue for him, secure his economic interests. Fantastic. Copyright, cinema. The writer says, stop this movie from being exhibited. No. We are not violated. You are needed. Uh, So many things you can do.
So, so this is I am curious. Like, can you share one of your most interesting cases if you do not have an NDA with them?
Which case?
So, any of your cases that you would have, maybe as a journalist, you would have
Yeah,
reported?
I'll tell you. So when I was writing an investigative report about government, they filed a criminal case of defamation. Now I had to rush to two kinds of lawyers. One, somebody to defend me in trial court. Two, quash petition in High Court, somebody to engage me. 3, I was challenging the constitutional validity of Section 499 of Indian Penal Code, which defines criminal defamation. Why should we need criminal defamation, which was abolished in several countries, including England, from where we inherited this?
Okay.
So why should we have the criminal defamation? Of course, there are 3 opportunities, and 3 lawyers I engaged. One senior advocate was challenging the constitutional validity of 499. Somebody who is asking for quashing of my charge against me. And of course, in trial court, a lawyer defending me that I have not defamed. I made a fair comment. I spoke truth. Speaking truth is no defamation. Giving a fair comment is no defamation. That's my experience.
That's amazing. And that's kind of like one thing that we are understanding from this. A lawyer might also need a lawyer someday.
Of course. But I was telling them, telling them what to do. That is one thing. But I'll give you another example where on my writings, a commission of inquiry was appointed by government of Andhra Pradesh, constituted. Okay. And I was arguing my case before the commission. I won through my own knowledge of law. And my office was very happy. So that gives you a strength, if you are a lawyer, you will gain confidence.
So, sir, question from a student. What are the traits of becoming a successful lawyer in India?
First of all, a deep understanding and analysis of what you hear in the classroom. And if you read newspaper every day and relate it to the law that you have learned, you are a great lawyer. You are a successful lawyer. Because today every event, is laced with legal controversy, challenge to a bill, or constitutional question to a policy, Citizenship Amendment Act. Now, you understand the importance of law.
Yes, sir.
If somebody suspects you whether you are a citizen or not, what will you do? Basics. If you are a citizen, you have a right of freedom of speech and expression. If you are not even a citizen, what do you do? So, understand citizenship law, amendment proposed by the government of India, challenge or accept whatever it is, whatever you want.
Okay. So a question from a parent actually, and I find it very interesting because that's a valid question, because when we started talking about placement, we tested that one of your students got a placement in London for 10 lakhs per month. So how can a student get a job abroad?
That's what, when you are doing internships, your contracts will expand. Contacts will expand. You will have a knowledge from peers, they tell you what to do. Your seniors, they'll advise you. And there are several agencies, there are several law firms which can take you to. Suppose you have chosen international commercial arbitration, you have to go abroad. Suppose you have chosen mediation, you may have to go. Suppose you are litigating on an intellectual property right issue. The whole world is open. Quite possible.
So everything depends upon your networking skills, and I kind of believe, and in every profile building activity that we talk to our students, we talk about your networking skills, your internship, and that is the same thing that sir repeated. Like,
Correct.
How internships are super important. How you meet people, and
there is a team. There is a team, and your team. What do you want? Then where are your interests placed? Would you like to go for a NGO internship, or you want to intern with a lawyer, judge, or a rights activist, or a women's organization, or children's rights association? Where is it you want to go? Human rights, and several internships, in between 2 semesters, will decide your path.
Yeah.
And there you will get your contacts. And I agree with you about network, but nothing will replace your hard work. Hard work, of course, coupled with network, friends, contacts, your activity, your seniors, impressing your seniors, impressing your intern, where you're interning, impressing the bosses over there. That makes your career. Suppose the Supreme Court judge is very happy with you, he will immediately take you as an intern, as a clerk. Suppose a High Court advocate is happy with you, you are in High Court.
I think that is one of the most amazing things, because I wish I was doing law. So as I mentioned to sir, my grandfather was also a lawyer, and one of the most reputed lawyers in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So I wish I was a lawyer because I try to defend both sides of the argument.
Exciting,
So
yeah.
that is amazing. So one question that students is asking, and let's move on to Bennett Universities at specific now. We're talking about internships. Does Bennett University help in securing internships?
Helps.
Okay.
Helps, but it is only helping.
Okay.
It
So what do you mean
facilitates.
by helping, sir?
It guides you. It guides you. And I tell you, students will tell me where there are scope, where is the scope, where is the positioning. They tell me, sir, here we are doing, will you please write a letter? We write a letter. Sometimes we tell them, here is the opportunity, come on, go there. And there is so much of, you have websites available around. Today, it is very easy to locate somebody or find out somebody, very easy. IT, information technology, so such a wonderful tool in your hands. Nothing stops you.
On-campus recruitments for summer internships, or is it off-campus that students have to reach out?
It is possible. We are a young university. We are yet to graduate out, My first batch is yet to go out.
Yes, sir.
I think, the first batch has the privilege of exploring the possibilities of placements. I think it will come. And once we establish, my admissions will speak about my college, my first year, my second year, my third year today. Mm-hmm. They teach me, they teach everybody, they tell everybody I am so and so. So we increased our batches. We added new courses. We are conducting several seminars, webinars today. We had several Chief Justices of India, past Chief Justices of India, to talk to my students. We have Madhav Menon, the doyen of Indian legal education, to tell my students. And we have 20 to 21 Socratic lectures.
Mm-hmm.
So the people will get top people to contact, to talk. It will help them.
So coming to the batch size, as you started discussing, so what is the batch size of the students at Bennett?
Several things, several curricular activities, co-curricular activities, sports, and then seminars, researches, moot courts. Moot courts, have you heard of moot court?
Yes, sir.
A model hypothetical problem is given to you. You are supposed to practice research, start arguing. And preparing for moot court itself is a research activity, fantastic research learning process. You write an article, you debate on an issue, or go for a mediation competition, go for a client interviewing competition, go for an arbitration competition. So everything is available.
And you can get placements after that also, because in a lot of industries, when different firms conduct.
And you have festivals, law festivals. You have, music competitions, drama. And I'll tell you, there is one interesting drama called court marshalling. Court marshalling. It teaches you how military law is implemented.
Oh.
And the drama gives you an understanding of what kind of a dynamic process the practice is. Fine. And there is another drama which I wanted to show it to my students. I have shown court martial. I'm planning, but because of COVID, I could not do. It's Gandhi and Ambedkar. The drama of Gandhi and Ambedkar. Very important personalities who evolved Indian independence and Indian constitution.
Wow. So the kind of traits that I'm hearing is like, you need to know history. You need to know how to communicate. You need to have a network. You need to work hard. You need to have integrity. So many
I'll tell you one more thing. a team of students wanted to go around the old city of Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, take a camera with you and talk to people about what? About history, history of Red Fort, history of Chandni Chowk, history of that fort, this well, that construction, this ancient structure. A photographic tour teaches you law.
Oh, that's awesome. So, sir, how big are the classes in terms of, are there 100 students, 150 students?
No, 60 students is the class 10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. 60 in each class. We have two batches in each stream, BA LLB,
Okay, sir.
BBA LLB.
Mhm.
These are the two streams we have. And we have LLB for graduates, LLB honors.
So, what is the difference between all these streams, sir? BA LLB and BBA LLB?
The difference is that you have certain business management subjects in BBA LLB, whereas you have general subjects like economics, political science. English is a common thing,
Mm-hmm.
but there are slightly different, but law papers are common. Law papers, there is no reduction in papers on law. So if you are comfortable in BA LLB, fine. But if you think you need to have some management issues, learnings, come to BBA LLB. But
Okay.
anything is fine. And LLB, of course, is totally for graduates. So I can't compare it with BA LLB
Yes.
and BCom LLB.
Okay, sir. So, one thing that a student is asking, and also Sagar sir asked me this, who's the co-founder of Career was when you start, like how important, and you kind of mentioned it, but I wanted to ask you specifically, how important is academic studies in terms of your extracurricular activities or moot courts or the things that you learn on your e-learning platforms or research that you do? How do you compare both of them?
See, you have regular classes, regular assignments, and then you have research projects on hand. You have to prepare for moot court. These are all academic activities. And you have practical courses like legal aid, the documentation, drafting of contracts, drafting of a plaint, drafting of a case, writ petition,
Yes, sir.
the trial, mock trial, the debate, everything is academic with a component of practicality.
Mhm.
Everything is academic. And if you're not interested in academics, you can't do anything. So that is my, so you must be interested in academia. You must be interested in writing, listening, talking. If you're not, what do I do? And when you are interested in that, absolutely you will be a better candidate for moot courts, debates, everything.
Absolutely. So, sir, as a couple of questions, two questions are left at this moment. One thing I wanted to learn more about was your career trajectory. You started in journalism and then moved to law. Like, why and like, how did you start? And what was your driving factor in moving into law then?
See, when I was in journalism, I was adventurous, investigating, publishing cases, and that made me nearer to. As a journalist, I was reporting High Court.
Mm-hmm.
When I was reporting High Court, I came in contact with lawyers, then constitutional related litigation. Then when that newspaper where I was working was closed down, it was a question of employment. When it was a question of employment, I started thinking about a different employment. That is lawyering. When I was lawyering, I was asked to teach in a college on evidence, Indian Penal Code. And that made me a lawyer. That made me a teacher. And then when I was teaching, Nalsar came up. I joined Nalsar. See, it's a dynamic of a life, We can't say that this alone will take me to that place. We cannot say. But when I was teaching law, people asked me, "You should have gone for a judicial service. Then when I was in journalism, people asked me, you should have gone for an IAS or IPS officer position. Then what to do, what to tell to them, what can I answer? What is my answer to them? But when I became an information commissioner, I was a judge. It was equivalent to Supreme Court judge. I became a judge. When somebody was asking me about civil service, I said only former IAS officers will become judges of the commissioners of Central Information Commission. So I was on the top of it. So
Yes.
nothing is lost, no regret. No regret.
That's amazing. And you had
Professor,
such good.
I could become a judge. I could become an officer, administrator.
So you had such good opportunities that
That's
you
it.
had, and backup plans. Like you didn't stop. Agar job bhi chali gayi, you didn't stop there. You looked at what are the traits that you can use in other industries that you knew.
So my suggestion is here. The point I would like to tell my young friends is, whatever you do, if you are an excellent person in that stream of understanding and doing, you will reach the top. And on the top, you will find the people who are on the top, either from teaching field or from journalism or from practicing or from judging. You will meet them. You're on par with them. At par with them.
So as we wrap it up, thank you so much for coming to Careerkul. One last question. Do you have any advice if you were to our young viewers, or even when you were 18 years old, if you have advice for yourself when you were 18 years old?
So suggestion is, take up a career which is of high interest for you. Your interest, your liking is primary.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go by compulsions. Don't go by pressures. Choose yourself. Once you have chosen a particular stream, come on, be very academic. Learn it deeply. Attend every lecture. That's my advice. Attend every lecture. No lecturer is bad. No lecture is boring. If you are interested in it. So that is the basic fundamental advice I will give you. And once you have chosen a stream, see the bottom of it. Go to height of it.
Wow, those are some beautiful words. And not only, as I mentioned, not only sir is an educationist, but he has been in his field for a long, long time. He understands the industry, he understands the world, he understands the scope of not only law, but also of media and journalism. He has written so many books. And when he's saying, don't bunk your classes, he's not only saying as an educationist, but he's also saying as a person who knows the importance of education in the classroom that you are going to learn. And the classroom is not only that, but classroom is also the extracurricular activities that you are doing. So don't bunk classes as people are starting their new year. And I know the classes are just started. So don't bunk your classes, because now everything is virtual. So try to engage more. And as sir mentioned, so thank you so. Yes, sir.
One point, a questioning student will teach me how to teach. And a colleague, a student sitting by, a classmate will teach you. Teacher, not teacher alone.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do.
Those are some beautiful words, like you learn from everything and everyone around you.
Correct. All the best to you.
Thank you so much for being at Careerkul, sir. And thank you so much for giving such an insightful information, not only on law, but also on the world as a whole. And thank you so much for sharing all your learnings so honestly and so transparently. So thank you so much, sir.
That was my duty, transparency is my duty.